I'm not going to lie to y'all. It's going to be a pretty tough start to the episode today. If that's not for you, go ahead and fast forward to this time. Otherwise, let's get started. A terrible tragedy has occurred on board Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas. I'll give you all of the details that you need to know about this situation. Plus, Mexico is looking to levy more taxes and fees on cruise passengers in the coming years. And Carnival Cruise Line is finally putting its foot down in one cruise port, seeking to hike fees by nearly 15%. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And sadly, we have a very serious story to get started off with today. A 16-year-old passenger was gravely injured on board Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas this past Saturday after falling from their Central Park balcony. It appears from information I've been able to glean and photos I've been able to see of exactly the scene. This individual, they most likely fell from deck 11 somewhere around cabin 11247, and he would have fallen all the way down to deck 8 in the Central Park area, right in front of Chop's Grill, right across from the Rising Tides bar entry. Details about this tragedy remain fairly murky, and probably rightly so. It's good to respect a family's privacy, especially in a shocking tragedy like this. I have done my best to dig through everything online right now, and I'm only presenting you with the most common threads of information that are currently being reported by passengers and reputable news outlets. Now, passengers on board Allure of the Seas recall that the captain came on Saturday night around midnight, making an unexpected announcement asking for blood donations from any passengers with a compatible blood type. Now, if you don't know your blood type, you should probably find out. Now, let's get back into this story. That night, passengers went to bed wondering why the strange announcement had been made. You know, in all my years of cruising, I've never heard the announcement being made asking for blood donations. And that was exactly the sentiment echoed by a passenger named Lynn. The following day, Lynn and her husband were walking through Central Park on Allure when they were stopped by security and asked to go in a different direction. Lynn, though, recalled seeing a barricade that was erected. You can see it now on your screen, with a tent over top of it as well, stretched out across the walkway in Central Park. And then she looked up and noticed caution tape draped across a balcony several floors above the tent. Allure of the Seas hurried into Nassau, Bahamas, where the ship docked and medical personnel rushed on board. Passengers noted an ambulance pulling quickly away from the ship. Now, later on that day, as they were leaving, they found out the sad details of just what happened. A 16-year-old boy had passed away in hospital in Nassau, Bahamas, after suffering injuries from falling from a balcony in Central Park. This is coming from a Facebook post where the mother of the now passed child said that her 16-year-old son was full of life and sadly did not make it. And as you can imagine, the mood for the rest of the cruise was not the same. Though the tent was gone, the caution tape cleaned up, people knew exactly what had transpired. And you know, that's a hard pill to swallow, even if you don't know the person or persons involved. Now, there's questions circulating on the internet, as they often do, asking how the teen fell off the balcony, with people making wild speculations about the height of the railings, the height of the fall, foul play being involved. And we're not going to get into any of that now on the channel. If any new information comes to light about this story, though, I will do a follow-up reporting on it. And it goes without saying that here at the Midships channel, the Midships family at large, we send our condolences to the family and loved ones of this young man who is sadly no longer with us. Now, we do need to keep the cruise news moving. We're going to head down to Mexico, where cruises visiting some of the busiest cruise ports there may soon be getting a little bit more expensive. That's because the state of Quintana Roo is proposing a new tax on cruise ships of $5 per person starting in January of 2025. And if you're not familiar with Quintana Roo, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm just a person who's not very good at words. Quintana Roo is home to the ports of Cozumel and Costa Maya. You might have heard of them If you've ever cruised before, undoubtedly you know what they are. Well, Costa Maya. They call that Costa Maybe, I believe. That basically means a family of 4 will now be spending about $20 extra to visit Cozumel and Costa Maya. And honestly, y'all, that $20 could be put to much better use than giving it to some foreign country. You could use it to support one of your favorite YouTubers, maybe by visiting his Midships Amazon store. In there, you can find everything I take with me every single time I cruise. I think you'd love some of those items as well. It's free to browse. And by the way, Jeff Bezos will send me a check just because you clicked the link in the description down below. Pretty cool, huh? Now, speaking of cruise ports getting a little greedy, wanting to grease the palms, Carnival Corporation is pulling ships out of one cruise port due to a 15% jump in port fees. Now, let me break it down for you. These are 2 cruise lines under the Carnival umbrella that will no longer be visiting the port of Melbourne in Australia because of this 15% unexpected fee. This is slated to begin in 2025 when Princess Cruises will pull their home port at Station Pure. Additionally, Cunard Lines say they will no longer visit Melbourne whatsoever. Carnival's chief Australian strategy officer, that's a lot to say, try saying that, Teresa Lloyd claims that the decision was made in no small part due to Ports Victoria significantly and unexpectedly raising charges. So it's good to see cruise lines pushing back on this stuff. You know, they've got a lot of leverage in these markets to do that, and I personally don't think they pushed back enough. It's not the end of the world. We're maybe talking $20 or $30 here, but that adds up very quickly. Look at all the cruise ports that are trying to put their hands in your pockets for an extra $20, $30. And well, the rest of the world is still suffering under the same inflation that you are, Melbourne, and you are, Mexico. Y'all aren't special little flowers. You don't deserve to reach into everyone's pockets and pilfer them for more and more money. Get lost, y'all fools. It's getting real expensive to cruise, and I know I've tightened my belt on a lot of cruises in the past year. I've probably taken at least 20% fewer cruises than I did the prior year just because of the raising costs. They've quashed some of my ability to sail. Let me know in the comment section. It's a beautiful place to let me know if you are feeling the effects on your traveling, on your cruising as well. I love to see what your beautiful faces are saying down there. While you're down there, why don't you think about slamming that subscribe button, joining the 21,000 other lovely Midships family members, and don't forget to smash that thumbs up button if you want to tell the YouTube algorithm, hey, I love cruises and you should show me more videos about them. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. La 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 la.